the coming months, I'll review multiple flights that I took in Cathay Pacific's business class. And so I got to take a look at multiple different products and see what some of the differences are. In today's video, we'll take a look at my flight on what I believe to be Cathay Pacific's worst business class seat on a flight from Seoul to Hong Kong. To get to the airport today, I decided to take the express train to the airport, one of the AREX trains. I took a taxi to Seoul Station, where I then caught the train from. I bought tickets at the machine there. Unfortunately, there was no train available for around 40 minutes. I believe the tickets were 11,000 Korean won. I believe there to be an all-stop train which you can take, which I think is cheaper, but it just takes a bit longer. There was free Wi-Fi on the train, which was great. I would recommend taking this train. It's a comfy way to get to the airport. Do be sure to allow enough time though. Opened in 2001, Incheon International Airport is one of two airports that serve the city of Seoul. The other, Gimpo Airport, primarily serves domestic flights, though it does have some international flights, while Incheon handles mostly international flights. There's two terminals at this airport. Terminal 2 is kind of the SkyTeam terminal, as it mainly handles SkyTeam Alliance airlines, with generally the only non-SkyTeam airline being Korean Air subsidiary Jin Air, though Terminal 1 does handle some SkyTeam Alliance flights as well as all other passenger flights from Incheon. Please check official websites though, and don't rely on this information as terminals can change. I was told in an email from Cathay Pacific that check-in would be at aisle K, here in Terminal 1. There were separate check-in lines for bag drop after doing self-check-in via the kiosks, as well as lines for business class and first class. There was a small-ish bag drop line and basically no line for the others. The check-in staff were friendly. I got my boarding passes printed and baggage checked through to my final destination for today, which wasn't Hong Kong. As for security, it was quite automated, but busy, and so took about almost 15 minutes. Airside, there seemed to be plenty of duty-free and high-end shopping, and I think I saw a sign for a food court, but I didn't go there today, since with my business class ticket, I had access to the Oneworld Lounge here in Seoul. I believe this was Oneworld's first fully branded airport lounge. It's not specific to one airline, it's specific to the Oneworld Alliance, which Cathay Pacific is a part of. I thought that this lounge offered a fantastic space, including amazing views. A lot of the food that I had was very tasty, though the selection is average. But personally, I would prefer a variety of high quality foods rather than just heaps of not so good food. There was lots of different seating spaces and charging ports, though I didn't notice any universal charging outlets. Also, there seems to be shower rooms. It was unfortunate that the bar didn't open until 3 o'clock, but since they don't do barista coffee, I guess that makes sense. The staff were friendly, and it's got a decent vibe. Overall, I thought it was a great new modern lounge, but it wasn't mind-blowing. I would certainly go back though, and would recommend visiting it. It's now time to head to the gate, where my ride to Hong Kong is waiting. This is Bravo Lima Bravo Foxtrot, a 2014 built Airbus A330-343 delivered new to Cathay Pacific. It was transferred to Cathay Pacific subsidiary Cathay Dragon in 2017 before it returned to Cathay Pacific in 2020 following Cathay Dragon ceasing operations. This is actually the same aircraft I flew on in economy class from Kuala Lumpur to Hong Kong in June. Priority boarding had already started when I got to the gate at 9:36. Boarding seemed to be done with priority and non-priority. Hello. Thank you. Welcome on board one of Cathay Pacific's A330-300s with the type code 33P. Cathay Pacific has many different configurations for their A330s. This one features 24 business class seats at the front in a 222 layout, followed by 293 economy class seats in the standard 242 layout. I didn't note it, but you can see that waiting on the seat was a bottle of water, a pillow and a blanket, as well as separate menus for food and beverages. My seat for today will be 14A. By the way, some nice boarding music was being played. Now, let's take a quick look at the seat features. Legroom is great, as you'd expect for business class. There's a tray table which can be used half opened or fully opened. Above that, on the seat back, there's an adjustable in-flight entertainment screen. And to the side, there's a USB-A port and something. And over here, there's a coat hook. There's these little storage compartments, which I imagine could be used for something like a bottle of water. Here's the controls for the seat, and here's the remote for the IFE. In the side of the seat, there's a literature compartment which contains things such as the safety card and the magazine. There's a headphone jack and some complimentary headphones. There was 2 universal power sockets, so one for each of the 2 seats in this row of 2. And there's the overhead panel, which does not appear to have individual adjustable air vents. By the way, welcome drinks of either champagne, orange juice, apple juice or water was offered, with myself having gone for an orange juice. We were later welcomed by last name and given a quick briefing including flight times. And not long later, hot towels were then handed out.
Everyone, a warm welcome aboard Cathay Flight 417, service to Hong Kong. Just a few minutes, we'll be getting ready, all doors closed and pushed back. Our flight time once we get airborne is going to be 3 hours and 5 minutes at our plane cruising altitude of 40,000 feet. Current weather in Hong Kong, it's a nice morning, light easterly winds and partly cloudy skies, showing temperature right now of approximately 30 degrees Celsius. And lastly, I just invite you to get comfortable and enjoy the excellent customer service we have to offer at Cathay Pacific. Thank you and welcome aboard.
Here's a look at the menu for lunch. By the way, I thought the in-flight entertainment screen wasn't tiny, but it was on the smaller side. Also, I didn't feel that there was much storage space.
Welcome aboard Cathay Pacific. Your safety is important to us, so please take a few minutes to watch the following video as we present the safety features of this aircraft.
The safety video was soon played, and it was not the one I was expecting. I didn't know this, but clearly Cathay Pacific has a new safety video, which I believe they have been slowly rolling out.
You can store any hand luggage or large items into your back compartments for takeoff and landing.
It's much more about Hong Kong, which is really cool. There are bits that I liked about the old one though. If you've seen it, feel free to let me know which one you prefer in the comments.
Oxygen masks will drop automatically if needed. If there's an emergency, or you hear the phrase, brace, brace, adopt the position shown in your safety card. Most importantly,
最後祝各位旅途愉快。
enjoy the journey.
It's now time for pushback, 2 minutes early. If you're enjoying this video so far, and you enjoy the content that I put out on my channel, please consider liking and subscribing. It would help out me and the channel so much, and would be so much appreciated, but if you don't want to, that's completely okay. There was a decent queue for takeoff, but it's now time for takeoff on runway 16 left. Here's the drinks menu.
좌석 내 메시지 또는 비밀 이제 편안히 저희 캐세이 서비스를 즐기시기 바랍니다.
A bit after takeoff, the crew came around to take drinks and main meal orders. They then came around to put cloths on the tray tables. Before the service, let's take a quick look at the in-flight entertainment. As usual on Cathay Pacific, there was still a great selection of movies and TV shows. There was a nice in-flight map as well, which was interactive. The screen wasn't too bad in terms of responsiveness, but also not great. I did notice that there seemed to be less English movies than I remembered. I'm not sure, but I do actually think this was the case, as on my next flight, it certainly felt like there was more. There's also audio entertainment, a kids section, and some games. Something I didn't expect was free Wi-Fi. I didn't think that had been rolled out yet, but I later saw some articles about Cathay Pacific now having rolled out complimentary Wi-Fi for first and business class passengers on all connected aircraft. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually think that the day I took this flight was literally the first day that this was the case. I might be wrong. I do believe though that not all of Cathay's A330s or 777s are equipped with Wi-Fi yet, but the ones that do have it, if you're in business class, you should get complimentary Wi-Fi. Before the service, I got a Cathay Delight, which was served with nuts. I thought the Cathay Delight, which is kind of their signature non-alcoholic drink, was creamy and tasty. I didn't realise that I would get both salad dishes, and the first course would be served separately, so I was happy to see that. For the main starter, I'm not exactly sure what to call it, the Parma ham with cheese, melon and tomatoes was very good. I noted that something about the plate was quite cold though. I think I meant everything. The salad with olive oil and balsamic vinegar was tasty, my kind of salad. The crew came around with a basket of bread. Options were a cheese roll, a mini baguette, or garlic bread. You seemed to be able to get multiple if you wanted. The garlic bread was very nice and the cheese roll was delicious. Once I'd finished my starter, the main meal was served. I opted to go for the Korean dish, bibimbap, which was decent, but I didn't think it was that good, possibly because I had already eaten food. I later realised that chopsticks were provided. For dessert, or whatever you want to call it, cheese and crackers as well as fruit was offered. Again, I thought I was only getting one. The cheeses were nice. I think one was something like a brie, there was a blue cheese of sort, and an orange cheese of sort. Again, I noticed that a lot of the stuff they served was quite cold. The fruit was nice, pretty fresh, but not incredible. After this, Häagen-Dazs ice cream was then offered, with the options being vanilla, strawberry, or chocolate. The ice cream was nice. A bit later, I got a Hong Kong style milk tea, which was good. It's now time for a quick lavatory review. There were a few nice amenities, but that's about all I can say because I forgot to make notes. Oops. I then checked out the recline on the seat, as this seat doesn't go fully flat, and I thought it was pretty good, and with the foot support thing going up, it still makes for a very comfy seat. The pillow was very nice. It was Bamford branded. It was a good size and nice fabric. The blanket was nice and quite thick.
Please return to your seat, adjust it to upright position and fasten your seatbelt. Store your table and store your hand baggage.
As we descend into Hong Kong, please allow me to conclude this flight with Cathay Pacific. Please keep in mind that any complaints as such that I may have are not coming from a point of me not being happy with just getting to fly business class, or of not being grateful for getting that opportunity. I know that I am very lucky to be able to fly as much as I do, let alone do a flight in business class. I'm so very grateful to everyone who has made that happen. Check-in in Seoul was great, pretty quick too, thanks to priority. The Oneworld Lounge there, as I said earlier, was great, but not the best out there. Boarding started a bit early and there was priority lines, so I was able to go straight through when I got to the gate. The seat, as much as I loved it because I don't fly business class too often, but as far as business class seats on an Asian Airlines wide-body aircraft go, I feel it was very average. But thankfully, I do believe they have plans to refurbish their A330s with new business class seats, and some of their A330s do have lie-flat seats. The pillow, blanket, water and headphones provided were as I'd expect, really. I did expect welcome drinks, but I wasn't sure if we would get hot towels, so I was happy with that. The cabin crew were fantastic. They were very friendly, attentive and professional. They seemed to speak good English. The post-takeoff drink and nuts was a good way to start the meal service. The appetizer was really great. It was very well presented and tasty. Surprisingly, I thought that the main meal wasn't presented as well and tasted nice but wasn't that good. The fruit and cheeses for dessert was well presented and the ice cream was nice. I liked getting the courses separately. The crew often came around to collect dishes and offer more drinks. So at one point, I got a Hong Kong style milk tea. The entertainment was great. The Wi-Fi was a surprising and great touch. Overall, I had an incredible flight with Cathay Pacific. But that doesn't mean it's an incredible product, as I don't fly business class very often, so I get extremely excited when I do. But from what I've experienced, I do recognise that this is most likely Cathay Pacific's worst business class seat. It's the same seat type as on the regionally configured 777s, but there's some small differences, and I believe this configuration is only really used on shorter flights. But if I got this on a 5+ hour flight or something, I might be a bit unhappy, relatively speaking. It's not really up to standard with what a lot of other airlines offer, but for a 3-hour flight, I think it's fine, though I would pick a different configuration if possible. For the price I paid though, it was absolutely worth it, but I'll get into that in a future video. Now enjoy the rest of the approach and landing on Hong Kong International Airport's runway 07 left.
Welcome to our home, Hong Kong. It's been our pleasure to take care of you today. Thank you for flying Cathay Pacific, a member of the Oneworld Lounge. 歡迎嚟到我哋嘅家香港，為安全起見，請留喺座位並保持安全帶扣上。
By the way, you may have noticed more recently I've been posting trip reports mostly in order of when they were filmed. That will only sort of be the case for this trip. As you may have noticed, between the Jetstar flight and this one, there was one in between, and I'll review that possibly next week. But because there's multiple Cathay Pacific business class flights, I feel like it might get a bit repetitive. But let me know what you'd like to see. I was thinking of uploading the Cathay ones in order, but alternate between doing that and the non-Cathay Pacific videos, which would be in order. This flight was quite punctual, by the way, as we pulled into the gate just a few minutes late or so. As we disembark, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching today's video. I posted updates of this trip on my Instagram at aviation763_, so feel free to check that out if you'd like. I'd like to thank all of my incredible Patreons for helping to make these videos possible. Their support is truly so much appreciated, and I couldn't do what I do without them, so thank you so much to them. Once again, I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one next Saturday at 5 PM Melbourne time.